Is God the one? Everything? You therefore are nothing, and God makes you from nothing. God is eternal and necessary, while you are temporal and contingent. Since God created you, God can also annihilate you. God can welcome you to heaven to be with him, or he can send you to hell to be absent from him forever. This is the story that Abrahamism tells about the One. God the One makes many souls which could not exist without him. Is God the One, everything, and yet able to make itself seem many via the power of illusion, Maya? God is eternal and necessary but creates a host of temporal and contingent illusory individuals from itself, and these illusory souls, or we might even call them non-souls since they are illusions, lead strange lives, constantly reincarnating or being reborn, until they work out what is really going on. When they do, they become enlightened, and they realize they are not individuals but are actually God, at which point they cease to be temporal and contingent illusions but transition to eternal and necessary divinity, and all enlightened souls grasp that they are all one. This is the story that Eastern spirituality tells about the One. Abrahamism tells you that you are different from God, the One. You are always the created and not the creator. Eastern spirituality tells you that you are the same as God, the One. You always were and are God, but illusion caused God to experience itself as many, not one. When the illusion is overcome, there is only one, and the experience of oneness. All illusory separation ends. Science once believed that there was one universe, which existed forever. This was the eternal and necessary steady-state universe that Einstein once believed in. Then science switched to Big Bang theory, which says that the universe, the One, is temporal and contingent and randomly came from non-existence. Science refuses to accept the existence of an eternal and necessary order which precedes and causes the temporal and contingent universe. Such an order would be unobservable since no one can see beyond the birth of the Big Bang universe. Hence it would be non-scientific to refer to any such eternal and necessary order. It is, of course, equally impossible to observe any random event triggering the Big Bang, but science deems an instantaneous predecessor of the Big Bang to be infinitely preferable to an eternal and necessary order that science cannot penetrate at all. Randomness is the least expensive, non-observable, non-scientific way to get the Big Bang started, hence why science has adopted it. What could be eternal and necessary and precede the Big Bang? Abrahamists would of course refer to God, and they would claim that the Big Bang was when God, the One, made creation out of nothing. It is implied by Abrahamism that the Big Bang universe will one day be annihilated by God, and all that will remain will be God, heaven, full of all the created souls that obeyed God, and hell, full of all the created souls that disobeyed God, including the devil, the ultimate disobeyer. Eastern mysticism would also refer to God, the oneness, and would say that the Big Bang was when illusion caused the oneness to imagine it was many rather than one. In these terms, the Big Bang universe would end when all illusory souls become enlightened and realize that they are not many, they are not individuals, they are all one. In fact, the eternal and necessary order which precedes temporal and contingent science is the true oneness, mathematics. Ontological mathematics. Isn't it time you woke up to the truth? You are in a self-solving mathematical system, a cosmic Rubik's Cube, and one day everyone will arrive at the answer, because that's the nature of mathematics. Mathematics, and mathematics alone, is the sole subject that can and must reach a definitive, absolute, 100% true, correct, and certain answer. Abrahamism is wrong. There is no creator God that makes the universe out of nothing. Eastern mysticism is wrong. There is no force of illusion making a noumenal oneness experience itself as a phenomenal many. Science is wrong. There is no miraculous random event that creates the Big Bang universe. Mathematics is right. An eternal and necessary mathematical domain known as being necessarily causes a temporal and contingent domain, the universe, known as becoming. Think of a perfect Rubik's Cube. This is eternal and necessary and cannot change. This is being. This is the equivalent of Plato's perfect immutable domain of forms. But it can mathematically project a secondary domain, a temporal and contingent domain, the universe. Plato said, "Time is the moving image of eternity." For Plato, intelligible reality, true reality, comprised forms, and sensible reality, derived reality, was based on matter. The domain of forms produced a shadowy copy, the material universe of space and time. Mathematically, a perfect Rubik's Cube projects a totally scrambled Rubik's Cube, which then solves itself, to be perfect, at which point it has totally merged with the originating Rubik's Cube. And then the whole process starts again. This is an eternal and necessary system. Being must keep birthing, becoming and solving becoming. This is the divine system. It equates to God always solving what God is. And it turns out that what God is you, is all of us. We are all eternal and necessary minds or souls known as monads. We have no creator and we are not illusory. All of us together functionally equate to God. God is not ontological oneness. God is an ontological many, capable of operating as one at zero entropy, and as many when entropy is present. Mathematical entropy defines becoming, and absence of mathematical entropy defines being. Plato intuited all of this thousands of years ago. Isn't it time for you to catch up and realize what you truly are? The mathematical truth shall set you free. Everything else is a lie and will imprison you.